Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Thoughts about a man getting a vasectomy. And this podcast is brought to you by the generous donation of a young man. He wanted me to address this issue. And when I say young, he's about 24. I neglected to ask him if he wanted his name shouted out. So, brother, just shout your name out in the comments if you like. But he was asking about it because he was concerned about that. Now, my thoughts. From a personal thing, it's easier for... always want that option. And I don't like unnecessary operations. And I'm someone who, since I practice Tantra and real seed retention, I ain't worried about getting someone pregnant. It's a lot of discipline. Just to be clear... until you at that level of discipline, condoms anyway. But even with that, condoms break. And you have a lot of guys out here, they're concerned because of the social environment. Let's be real. You know, my focus, I'm not that type who's going to focus on the bad women out here. I don't. My thing is leave them alone. That's my stand on bad women. When you see that they're toxic, they're bad, I don't need to do 1,000 videos telling that. You should be able to figure that out. You know, if you ain't getting something out of the relationship and you maybe even some pain, she's toxic. Now, my focus is always on quality women. But even with that, whether they're toxic or they could be quality enough for you, you still got to protect your seed. A man got to protect his seed out here. Because the social environment, trust me, even though there are a lot of women who make their own money, got their own resources, there's a whole lot of women out here who they hit the jackpot if they can get your seed. Now understand that, and this goes across really. You know, it could be that lower class woman who see a way out. Like you got you some money, she's like, oh, he got a lot of money, he making 6 figures, and she knows she would live better than what she is now or what she is currently. So she's like, she got everything to gain by getting your baby. But this is something that talked about a lot. There's a lot of professional women who BGS would label 92 octanes. They on that same thing. You get some women who might have, they might not have been like that lower class woman living off the state or something, but they might have been that woman who was more into her studies, corporate type. All of a sudden, that biological clock hits. She still wants that baby. Maybe not the husband, but she wants the baby. I actually know a woman personally who did that. She didn't say she did, but look, come on. There's a few women out there. Like, let me go on a tangent just real quick. Because, like I said, you know, I don't really go in on women on this channel, but when you get you see a lot of single mothers or professionals and stuff, it ain't always that the man was a deadbeat. It ain't always that the man was a deadbeat at all. It could have been a situation where she just wanted that man's seed. And, you know, she might even make an arrangement with him beforehand. It ain't that he's not in the picture. She just ain't getting married. She wants the baby that badly. And I've seen that more than a few times. So understand that. But, you know what? You might not be that man who just want to give a woman your seed. And see, you become a target. As soon as you make a certain amount of money in this country, I don't care what race you are, you gotta think about every single time you have sex with a woman. Now, one of the ways I personally combated that was, for the most part, because it'll never be 100%, but for the most part, dealing with women who had something to lose if they got pregnant outside of the bonds of marriage. Even then, and like I said, even then there was some scares, whole lot of scares, really. It was a bit reckless when I was younger, but even then, and to be honest, these women weren't necessarily like poor women. In fact, and I've said this before, I say since college graduation at the age of 22, really even before then. Really going back to high school, the overwhelming majority of women I dealt with were like 92s. You know, there were some 89s in there. But overwhelming majority college, something like that. The type would be professional, corporate, store manager types, women like that. and you still gotta watch it. So getting a vasectomy, I'm gonna tell you what. You got to be concerned about the pregnancy game. That's the first game I learned at 7 years old. That's the first one my mother taught me. She said some women, because women, if they want that baby, they want your seed. They think you cute or something and maybe think you might take care of it. Boom. So you got to think, as a man, is that what you want? You don't want that. You shouldn't want that. If you're a real man, you're going to want those. You want to be in a position to raise those children, even if you're not like married to the mother. But you want, in more than anything else, you want a choice of when that child's coming. So you got to start thinking about it. So many men, they're saying, okay, maybe I'll get a vasectomy. Okay. I would say, I would advise any men who think so, really think hard about it and what you want. Think about it. If you're the type, you was like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that headache or women scheming, because even the best, even the quality ones, if she, once that urge hits to have a baby, she can get you too. Rationale goes out the door when that clock is ticking. When it's like tick, 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 tick. Yeah, they might be kind of cool. When it's tick, tick, tick. Oh yeah. All of a sudden, boom. Shit. I've even heard of cases where women, they will hit up a guy for it. But you know what? You're not that type of guy. You're trying to build something. You're trying to build an empire. You're trying to have some order in your life. So you know what? Look at the vasectomy. Take a serious look at it. Even, and especially if you're young. Like I can understand. Personally, I can already see a dude who's like already had their kids. They in their 40s. They just want to chill out, have some fun, or have some peace getting a vasectomy. Their legacy is already going on. But and then you got some older men, they popping out kids. I knew this dude, he was 70, he had a 5-year-old son. But you know, you gotta really take that in consideration. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is a tough one, in the sense that yes, you can still get the vasectomy, but you might meet that one woman. Like this woman just compliments you. She's cooperative. She arouses you. She's on the team. She's a ride or die. She's a queen. She's all that. And then you want to have babies with her. Now, I'm not sure about. I'm gonna just say, because it just popped in my head about freezing your sperm. I'm not even sure about that. Maybe somebody can enlighten me, because it's not something I ever thought about. So I've never had inclination to actually look into it. But that might be a possibility. Maybe someone who's actually done that, more familiar, can comment. I'll look for your comment if you so desire to share with us. But keep in mind, vasectomies can be reversed, but they are a bit more difficult to reverse than actually give you one. It's easier for them to snip than it is for them to reattach. That's probably a major operation. And then just from the, because I did a little bit of research for this, the percentage of still having a baby after that, it's so-so. It depends. There's a lot of factors from what I'm seeing just on a brief perusal that go into it. So I would say this. Really think about it. You have to weigh everything. You really got to think, okay, what am I doing in life? How much control do I want over my seed? You know, what type of women am I dealing with? You know, how much discipline do I have? All right, so when this snip happens, it's not always a guarantee that even if you reverse the procedure, you'll get a good result. Because just from my perusal, you need to, the best results with a reverse vasectomy come within the first 3 years. The longer you go, the more likely the results won't be as, shall we say, fruitful as you would like. So really think about it. I would just say, anybody thinking about it, really weigh it, especially if you're young. Like I said, if a dude 40 and 50, you already got kids, maybe even grandkids, you just like, shoot, your legacy is gone on. Let me just fool some of these gold diggers out here. Or these women playing the pregnancy game. But when you're young, really, I mean, you got to really weigh it. especially if you're young. I would just say this, and I will say this is just Rom's view on it. Really practice safe sex. Look for women who have something to lose if they get pregnant outside of matrimony. That's the important thing. And even with me doing that, that's still not perfect. Like I said, I've had quite a few scares. So even then, really think about it. If one thing because I always talk about dealing with quality women, the type of woman you deal with, the type of woman that you could deal with even if you're not married to. I've mentioned several times about, I've been married, divorced, and really have a very good relationship with my co-parent. I was just chopping it up with her yesterday for about an hour, at her place. So, it's you want to be very picky about the type of woman that you're dealing with. You want to deal with somebody who's basically a good person. There ain't gonna be too much hell if a relationship don't work out. Really, and that's why it's very important. I always talk about women choosing the men. They just make the initial choice. And when I say choose, let me be clear. A lot of people are not clear on it. Choose just means she's interested. She's opened the door. That's all she did. As a man, that don't mean you just got to go along with the choice. As a man, you still making the decision whether you want to cooperate with her choice. You can get chosen by 15 ratchet women. That don't mean you had to agree with the choice. It probably mean you need to change your locale and your environment and look at some stuff in the mirror, but you still had the power of no. And that's what many men have to exercise. Too many men grabbing on some woman just because she's showing interest. Nah, don't do that. It's a 50-50 thing with that. She may choose, but you have to agree to the choice. You have to agree to the choice. And really, quite frankly, and this is probably another video, when she chooses, she got to really she has to pay your price to for you to return the choice or for you to accept the choice. That's a little bit of game there. I want y'all to think about what I just said. But whatever the case, and the whole big thing was about vasectomies. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. That's a big decision. That's a big decision right there. So those are my thoughts. That's all I have for today. Peace and many blessings.